to take what are the principles of an Old Testament story, and we're going to retell the beauty of what God can do in people's lives. Deliverance, salvation, setting free, changing hard hearts to soft hearts. And we're going to tell it from a first-person standpoint about what God has done in somebody's life now. Is that God is the potter, and we, his creation, are the clay. So God chooses and does as he wills, but he chooses and does as he wills for the good of his people. To provide opportunity to know salvation, to at least have it, and to experience it for those who will choose to receive it. Okay?
Our child was good. It was kind of wide open a little bit. We had spent a lot of times with things that ran and in the woods with different cars, and just my dad and his buddy had a gas station, so we always had something with a motor on it. And a lot of times we just put stuff together, or most times it was Ray and his buddies working on it, and then when they were away, I ended up screwing it up. So.
Well, Willie's about 4.5 years younger than I am, so as we got into those teen years, we didn't play as much together and do the things together, and Willie was talking about, the motorcycles and cars, and, we were pretty wild because Evel Knievel was big then, so it was always cool to lay a bike down and over a ramp, and Willie's was the ramp, and we would jump over people, and Cowboys and Indians for us was shooting arrows way up in the air and holding a garbage can top over our head running to the shed before it came down. Dumb stuff like that. Willie and I, again, up through our careers, got to work and go to Victory Lane and do great things in the NASCAR series. Not necessarily on the same team, but we were still close again.
It seems like everything's perfect. I'm going to be honest with you, but everything wasn't perfect.
That time, yeah, it was.
So what has happened is things moved along then. Let's go ahead and pick the story up, because things didn't stay perfect for you, Willie.
No, things didn't stay perfect due to my own mistakes, whatever, my own feelings. And it's been 13 years that I've been sober, long story short. But so anyway, after the race, what was the first thing you did? Crack one cold beer, then two. And it eventually turned into something where the addiction took over my life with alcohol. I went away, and, Ray sent me for help. I got help. Came out, but I met a gentleman in there, and he kept asking me if I wanted to go to a Bible study. And I said, I can't go to a Bible study. If I walk in there, God knows what's going to happen to me. And he kept on me.
That's right, God knows.
Yeah, that's how I got there in the first place. But, I never prayed. I prayed the cops didn't catch me, or I prayed I didn't get caught doing this, or, the foxhole prayers. Sometimes it's tough. But when I was drinking, it was always somebody else's fault. I found a reason why the first beer, second beer, third beer would always be about how, like nobody needs me. Well, by the time I got into the rest of the case of it, it was, well, I don't need nobody else. It just kept going, and I wouldn't give up on it, and it got to be everybody else's fault. I lied. I did everything an alcoholic would have to do, because we're the last ones to know that we're a terrible liar. And it's pretty much, it's cost me my family for a while. It's just done, everything I had was gone. Well, it got to the point where I was done with life, I didn't need life. Nobody needed me. And it's a scary point when you get there, because I tell people the day that I made the choice that I was going to do that was probably the best day I'd had in years. And it's just a scary moment to think that you want to take your own life. Is he the maddest? He wasn't me, not for the drinking or anything like that. He was mad because I was his brother and I couldn't come to him. I get up now And I can tell you there's many things that I say now and I notice. And I know God finally that day had taken me by the shirt tail and shook me and said, look, I got something else for you to do. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you want to trust me, I'll have at it. And I started helping people. And I started talking to people. And that's what really clicked for me through the whole thing is I'd talk to somebody and they'd look at me and they'd say, how do you know that? Well, let me tell you my story. And people want to hear that. The best thing you can do was talk to somebody, to tell somebody, it's okay, but we can fix this. You're not broken forever. There's nothing out there that's got you broken forever because, if God can do this for me, he can do it for you or whatever you need. Whatever you need. You need one thing, you need one thing, I need one thing. God takes care of that. He takes care of each person individually. And I think I was there. And if I can get one person sorted out and get them turned over to God and have their trust put in God, then that's a win for me.
Quite honestly, Billy, when I was so involved in racing and whatnot, I didn't see a lot of it, right? Every time Willie had a problem, me being the big brother, I did the same thing. Blamed it on somebody else's fault. Oh, his boss is an idiot. Oh, that wasn't his fault. Never looking at the reasons why. And I think the signs were there, but I was in a little bit of denial on, he's my brother, he's not got a problem. I just never thought Willie was part of that, right? It was all something else going on. And said that he opened up about all of this. It floored me. It took a lot out of me, that there was, I felt like I did, like everything that I knew was not true. What I've watched him develop over the past 13 years is an incredible strength, and that strength has come from his faith in God, and just when you have to look back and recognize the trauma that you've been through, that maybe your childhood wasn't as great as you thought it was, and trying to understand those things coming as a family and reaching the lowest point in his life and having to face that. And I believe in God. My faith is strong because I see what happened here. Like I see the miracle in my own family. I see the change, and I see the effort and the strength that has gone into rebuilding his life, rebuilding his family. And when times that a lot of people would have quit over and over and over again, maybe me included, he has a faith in God. And I believe because you believe, and that may well be the reason that Willie's here. But that I'm 100% sure as I look at all of you, and as sure as we look around, that God exists, right? That is, everybody's got a different opinion of exactly what. I was raised Catholic, and I'm going to tell you, Catholic in the 60s, right? If you got hit, right? And we were kind of taught that, God was, he was a disciplinarian, not that it was pure love. And so my view on all of that, we have a very loving God, a very forgiving God, a God that helps you personally and puts things out there and gives you signs every day. Every day we get a sign. And my faith in God is stronger because I see what he's done in my brother's life. And I know I know what he's done in my life. Sometimes it's almost embarrassing for me to come in here because I think I'm not worthy to be in here. You know, that whole grace and mercy thing. You know, I get a lot of mercy. I can tell you that. I'm a sinner just like everybody else, and I thank God every day for the gifts he's given me, but my faith, the thing that I know that he's there and looks out for us and loves us is sitting right next to me.
But what you heard in that was a personal Exodus story where God did great and mighty things that also impacted others who were probably one time upset at the one, but yet heart was softened because he saw the transformation take place. Because it's great to talk about the stories of the Old Testament, but they're still happening today. If you're in here and you're wondering, how do you get out of your Egypt where you feel like you're in bondage? It can be drugs, alcohol, it can be anything. It can be our own egos at times. God's here to deliver us all and to set us free. And his Holy Spirit is here, and the same Spirit of God that worked upon Willie, the same Spirit of God that was moving upon the nation of Israel according to God's commands through the actions and the voices of Moses and Aaron. It's the same loving God then is the same loving God as Ray articulated that we have today. So the reality that God is still doing today